Good morning, all of you. So, as we know, till now we studied what is work and as well as what is energy. And the first kind of energy, first form of energy, which is very important, that is what kinetic energy. So, if you have taken work or work done is equals to another formula, what is the formula? Work or work done is equals to force into displacement. And next one, energy if you have taken, so we are studying the first energy, that is what kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is equals to formula. What is that, guys? Half into m into v square. Half mv square. That is what it is. Same way, we studied for work energy theorem. What is work energy theorem? Everybody, what is work energy theorem? THEOREM, work energy theorem if you have taken, or we will say change in kinetic energy. So change in kinetic energy, which is equals to formula is what? W is equals to half mv square minus half m, everybody,
U square.
u square. That is what it is. Final velocity and u means here initial velocity. So now one more formula also we studied. When we are applying the force in particular angle, means angle between them, types of work done. You might be remember. So if angle is between 0 to where guys? 0 to 90 degrees. Work done is positive or negative? Everybody. Work done is 0 to
Positive,
90.
sir.
Work done is what? Positive. Understanding? If theta is equals to 90 degrees, then what is the work done? Everybody?
Zero, sir.
0.
Zero.
Understanding? And theta will varies from 90 to 180. What is that? 90 degrees.
Negative.
We used to say answer is, we used to call it as negative work done. Understanding? So these are the things we studied. This is negative work done. So what is the formula for these cases when we are applying this angle? When the force and displacement are in the particular angle, then we will apply one formula. What is the formula? Work done is equals to everybody. Work done is equals to force displacement into cos theta. Okay. So this is the formula when we are applying the force in particular angle with the displacement. That is what will represent with the theta. Okay. So these all the things we studied. That is what types of work done also. Now, as we all know, coming to the today's class, we are going to study today the second form of energy, which we used to call as potential energy. Okay. Now, potential energy, all of you remember, will represent with the capital P and capital E. PE means potential energy. Now, before going to potential energy, I want the definition of kinetic energy. Anybody can tell me what is the definition of kinetic energy? All of you? Yes, please. The energy possessed by a body due to its what? By virtue of its, all of you.
Motion.
Kinetic energy is causing due to the what? Everyone,
Motion.
motion. All of you should remember kinetic energy possessed by a body. I am releasing the energy, kinetic energy. When I will release? When I am in motion. Everyone should remember that any object is possessing the energy. What energy it is possessing? Kinetic energy when it is in motion or when it is displacing. Understanding? So that is what it is. So all of you should make that kinetic energy means the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. So the energy releasing by the body due to its motion is only called as kinetic energy. Now, let us comes to the today's class potential energy. So what do you mean by this potential energy means? So observe very carefully. How many of you know the spring? Do you all know the spring? I want the answer from you. Yes, please. Have you heard about the spring? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
So you have you noticed the toy car, key car? Toy car you might be noticed when we keep on rotating the spring and we release, it will start keep on moving, and it will stop after some distance. Toy car, do you all know? Key. Toy car, when we are giving the key means in the sense of when we are rotating car, and we release, we keep it in the floor, it will start moving forward. Have you noticed it? How many of you know that? Yes, please. Toy car, you know that key car. We will say that when we are giving the key, it will be getting the sound even also. Kar. And when we keep it in the ground, then fastly it will be rotating by making the reverse direction. Have you noticed it, Hari? Don't know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you might be all even played, even you all cross at that level only. So definitely you might be having that idea also. So now if you notice it, when we are rotating it, you might be see, I will explain you also. You might be notice, wait, key toy car, I will show you. Key toy cars for babies, you might be check it. So when we are giving that toy car, you can see. So how it will be happening and what is the reason behind, that is all I will explain you now. So observe very carefully, from that only we will get it. So what will happen inside means, basically we all people knows the spring. Is it yes or no? This is what the spring basically present. Is it right or wrong, everybody? Yes, please. Now, when we are giving the key in the sense of when we are tightening the spring, this is what the outside lock which we are getting. Do you understanding? This is the toy car when it is in normal position. All of you observe very carefully. When we are normal position, the toy car is in normal position. This is how the spring will be there. Means equal that loops are equal distance. Now, when we are giving the key, so what will happen means we are trying to compress the spring. So means the spring, all the loops of the spring will become closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Now, the moment, understanding. So when I kept in the ground, then what will happen? If I release this handle, understanding? So what will happen? The spring will try to come. See here, from here to here, spring is compressed. Yes or no, Harish? Everybody? All of you?
Yes.
Spring is compressed.
Yes,
Now, when the spring is compressed, and if you release your hand, so what will happen? The spring will again try to come to its original position. Is it right or wrong? All of you? So that is the reason when the spring, here the spring is compressed and again it is trying to back to its original position. During that time only, it will start moving forward. It will start moving forward. And once the spring will come back to its original position, then is there any movement in the toy car? That is what my question.
No, sir.
Other,
sir.
everyone, please respond. Clear, Amma?
Yes, sir.
That is what you will notice it. When we compress the spring, all of you observe very carefully, it is possessing some energy because the shape of the spring is changed. Do you understanding, everybody? Same way, how many of you know rubber band? You might be all knows the rubber band. Yes or no? Normal rubber band.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you stretch, suppose normal rubber band will be, suppose let me take, it will be 2 centimeter. Now, if I stretch it into 5 centimeters, now the moment when I release, what will happen, guys? Is it will fly.
Again, it will retain its original position.
Yes, it will try to come back to its original position. Is it right or wrong, everyone? Yes?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, have you noticed it? It will fly away from our hand. Have you noticed it, everybody? When you release suddenly,
Yes, sir.
when you release suddenly, when the rubber band is trying to come back to its original position, it will fly away from our hand. Yes or no, Hari? When we are not holding. Mithakshri? Properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes? That is what you might be remember. Next, you all people knows the spring. You might be doing the exercises also. You can see, for example. So the two friends are having the spring, normal spring, you can see. So if you notice it, this is the spring. Now, two friends are stretching from this side and from stretching from this side. So now the spring length will be increases. Is it yes or no? The spring,
Yes,
each
sir.
loop will go for each other. Now, any both of them they will try to leave. At a time they left it. Then what will happen? What will happen? It is
It
the
will
spring,
again compress.
have you noticed the spring will fly away? The spring will fly away and it will get back to its original position. Have you noticed it, everybody? Yes or no? So that is what
Yes,
is
sir.
happening. So when the two persons are trying to stretch the extend the spring like this, you can see the stretched spring. When they are stretched, the shape is changed. Is it right or wrong? The stretched spring, understanding? Or the same spring, two friends are trying to compress. Compress means rings, the loops will come closer or far each other. Everybody,
Closer, sir.
closer each other. Now, then also you can see, you might be all experienced. When you are kids, even now also, you are using the spring pens. Do you notice the tick pens? When we are pressed, the needle will come out. When we are again pressed, the needle will go back. Have you noticed these pens? Anybody? All of
Yes,
you?
sir.
Yes, please. I want the response. So, have you noticed that the refill which is present inside has been kept between a spring? Inside a spring will be there, small spring. Have you noticed it? Anyone? You might be open it
Yes,
also.
sir.
Yes, sir. So, that spring you can see when I press this button down. Have you noticed that the spring will be compressed so that the needle will come out? When again I press this button back so that the spring will come to the normal position, so the needle will go up. That is what the mechanism which is present inside. Yes or no? Arun, Danishka, notice it. So when I stretch the spring, all of you observe, when I compress the spring, you notice that something is changing. The spring's shape is changing. Do you understand that, everybody? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you all observe very carefully, the stretched spring or the compressed spring, they are possessing the energy due to change its shape, due to change its shape, they are possessing the energy. That energy only, what energy we used to call? Everybody,
Potential energies.
potential energy. Do you understand, everyone? Now, you might be having your wristwatch. How many of you are having the wristwatch? You're all having it, I think. Now, if you'll notice it, inside our wristwatch, you'll be having a loop of spring. The spring will be like this. You can check it when you are having a damaged watch or anything. The loop of spring will be like this. Now, how our watch will work, everybody? So this is also one of the example. So this spring will be, I will compress this spring into very smaller. You can see that. Like this, I compress. Now, the shape of the spring it changes. So as soon as if I release this my hand from both, this spring will try to come back to its original place and will fly away from our hand. Have you noticed it, guys? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is one. So, if you observe very carefully here, the shape of the spring everywhere, some work is done in winding the spring or changing the shape of the spring. Here, I am trying to wind the spring, and here you can see I am stretching the spring, and here I am compressing the spring. So, all these cases, if you notice it, as soon as I release my hand, what will happen? They will come back to its original shape and they'll move the wheels of the toy car. In this case, toy car case, they will move the wheels of the toy car. Understanding? You can see if you take any kind of spring or rubber band, if it stretch and if you release, they will fly away from our hand. So if you'll notice it, they are moving away. Or if you take in the toy car, the wheels are moving. What do you mean by that? Some energy is possessing it by the spring. Is it yes or no? When we are giving the key to the toy car, it is possessing some energy. That is the reason when we release, the toy car is moving. Is it yes or no, everybody? Yes. So, some kind of energy which enables the toy car to move, that is what the energy which we are calling as potential energy. So, when we wind the spring or when we stretch the spring, it will possess some energy. Means we are working, we are doing some work. With my hand, I am giving the key to the toy car. So I am doing some work or not, Mitakshri?
Yes, sir.
Please. So when we are doing some work is done in winding the spring or the changing the shape of the spring. Maybe it is compressed or maybe it is stretched. Remember all of you, stretched or compressed, two different things. Compressed means shape is decreases, size is decreases. Stretched means you can see different shape, size is increases. In both the cases, we are doing some work done to change the shape of the spring. So the shape of the spring changes. You can see some work is done on both compressed and same way stretching the spring. So that is why the stretched or compressed spring possesses the energy by virtue of its what? Due to the what, guys? Can you tell me? Change in the what?
Yes, sir.
Change in the shape and what array? Size
And
of the spring. Have you noticed it, everybody? So they are possessing energy. If you are having in your home spring or rubber band, you can see. You stretch it and leave it. Rubber band will fly away or not? Mitakshri? Abhirami? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you are observed, when I'm stretching the rubber band is stretched. The spring you might be not find. You can find the stretched rubber band. So when I'm stretching this rubber band, all of you remember, if I stretch more, you can see it will fly more distance. Have you noticed it? If I stretch small, it will fly small distance. If I stretch more, it will fly more far away from us. Is it right or wrong? You all should tell. Correct? All of you? Sanjay,
Yes.
Johan. So that is what. So when I am changing the shape, definitely I am doing some work done. So that work done, if you have noticed it, the work done is equals to energy possessed by the body. Whatever the work done I am doing, which is equals to energy possessed by the body. So by changing its shape as well as size. So that energy only, what energy we used to call? Everybody? We used to called as
Potential energy.
potential energy. Do you understand, everybody? So when we are changing the shape of the body or size of the body, then we are doing some work done on it. That work done will store as a energy in the object. That is what work done is equals to energy possessed by the body. That energy only we used to call as potential energy. Understanding? This is one case of potential energy. I will say the types of energy also. So please observe very carefully. Potential energy, again, it will be carried as two types. That is what I am discussing. So first case, what I am discussing, everybody, we are trying to change the two things. Anybody can tell me what the two things we are changing? We are trying to change the shape of the object. And second one is what? Size of the object. Understanding? We are trying to change the shape and size of the object. If you'll observe, compressing the spring or stretching the spring, both the cases, I am trying to change the shape and as well as size of the object. Is it right or wrong, everybody? Omar, that is what I am doing it. Understanding? Now, if you have taken next one, second case, consider a stone on the ground. You might be notice it. Let me consider this is the ground. Now, this is what my stone. Have you all noticed it? Now, for example, let me take Mr. Omar is standing here, okay, or he is sleeping here. Now, I will put the stone, a small stone for on his head. It is. Now, is it will hurt the Omar? That is what my question. Is it will hurt the Omar or any injuries to the Omar? Just I kept it normally. Anybody?
No, sir.
No. So he will feel, maybe he will experience the mass of the stone, but he will never get any injury. Yes or no, Mr. Omar? Arun? Now, same stone. Let me consider.
Yes, sir.
Let me consider this is the 5-store building. Now, first store, Mr. Harish is there. Now, Harish from here, he thrown this stone. Now, definitely it will injure, it will hurt the Omar. Is it right or wrong?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Second floor, some other is standing. From there, they dropped this stone. Now, it will hurt or not? Same stone.
Sir.
Now, third floor, some other is there, and same way, finally on the roof, some other is there. So from the roof, they have been thrown the stone onto the Omar face. Now tell me, in which case Omar will injure very badly? Anyone?
Sir, in roof.
In roof. Why?
Because more distance.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
It will fast very
Well,
rapidly.
that is what it is. Remember, that is what our example. Omar, don't feel bad, okay? Just I'm taking to understanding. Nothing is there.
No, sir.
If you'll observe very carefully, all of you, the second one, consider a stone on the ground. If you'll consider basically, let me take no need Omar and all. Now, this is what my building. You observe very carefully.
It's okay, sir. No problem, sir.
No issues. Now, this is the stone which is present on the ground. This is present on the ground. Now, take the stone and put it into your roof. You are standing on the roof. Now, let the stone fall down from this roof, from the top of your roof. Now, if you'll notice it, the falling stone can do the work because it is traveling. Is it right or wrong? All of you? When I drop the stone, when I drop the stone from the roof, you might be notice the stone when it is falling means stone can do the work. Will you all accept it or not? It is traveling means it is doing the work. Is it true or not? Everybody? Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes. So that same thing I am saying that when the stone is kept on the Omar's face, nothing is injured to the Omar. But the same stone dropped from the terrace, what will happen? It will badly affect the Omars. It will hurt the Omars definitely. Same thing. So means in the sense of definitely it can do some work when it is falling from the certain height. Is it right or wrong? Yes, please. Now, why Omar is injured when when the stone falls from the terrace? What is the reason behind it? Tell me, anyone. What is the reason behind it? Because it will possess what?
Sir, gravity.
Not
Due to movement or
gravity. It will possess the what? It will,
kinetic energy.
it will release motion, guys. What is the motion? Due to the motion, which energy it will possess? Everybody.
Kinetic
Kinetic
energy.
Where this kinetic energy is coming? Due to its
Due to the
position.
movement.
Due to its position. Do you understand, everybody? Omar, when the stone is kept on his face from the ground, no injury, but the same stone dropped from the roof, it is hurting. So what is the change in position here? Have you noticed it? Omar is only lying on the ground only. But what is the change? the position of the stone is changed. Do you all understand, everybody? Position of the stone is changed. You notice it. First floor, second floor, third floor, fourth, fifth floor. Everywhere, the position of the stone is changing. So, when we are dropping the stone from higher away from the ground, so that it is exerting more energy or less energy. Everybody. Yes, please. More energy. Do you understand it? So, due to its position, the energy possessed by a body is only called as what energy we used to call? All of you?
Potential energy.
Potential energy. Understand, Akilan? Gokul? Nimish?
Yes, sir.
Due to its position. Now, observe very carefully. So, then what is correct? You are saying now due to its position, potential energy. Before I told you what? Due to its change in what?
Shape and size.
Shape and size.
Size is called as potential energy. Then what is potential energy? Anybody? What is potential energy? Both are correct only. That is what I said. Potential energy is two types. What is the two types? Anyone? First one is, have you all observed this compressing and stretching? In our general language, we will call something. What is that? Anybody? Some substances are elastic in nature. They will change their shape when we are applying the force. Have you heard that word called as elastic? Elastic in nature. All our pants, you can see that the short and night pants and all will say elastic pants and all. Have you noticed it, everybody? What do you mean by elastic? What do you mean by elastic? That is what my question. Everybody?
So it's like a property to expand, sir.
Yes. Property of expanding. So when we apply the force, they will change in their shape. That is what we used to call as elasticity or elastic in nature. Is it right or wrong? Everybody? Please.
Yes.
If you notice it, here when we are applying the force, the shape and size is changing. Means that is we used to call as elastic in nature. Is it right or wrong? Everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
So that is what the first type of potential energy. Please, all of you write. That is only we used to call as elastic potential energy. Write it. Elastic potential energy. Mr. Aswardham, understand? Elastic
Yes, sir.
energy. So everybody should tell me. Elastic potential energy means it is possessing by the body due to change in what? Due to change in its
Shape and size.
shape and size. That is what is called as elastic potential energy. Right. The energy possessed by a body take the notes. Johan, understand Johan, Harini? The energy possessed by a body by virtue of its shape or size. Shape or size. Omar, mute yourself. Shape. This is only we used to call it as configuration. Understand, Abhinami? Mitaksri? We used to say configuration. Keep it in mind. Omar, configuration is
Yes,
not.
sir.
Omar, mute. Elastic potential energy. What is the example of elastic potential energy? Anybody can give. So many examples I have given. You have to tell me. Elastic potential energy example. Omar, air sound is coming. Please mute.
Yes, sir.
What is examples of elastic potential energy? Please.
Sir, slingshot.
Yes.
Slingshot.
Yes, of course. Next, no, here, rubber band, compressed spring, or wounded spring inside. Understanding? Wounded means not wound, guys. This is a round. Wounded spring in wristwatch. These all are examples of potential energy. Can you give it, everybody? Elastic potential energy. Yes or no? Yes, everyone? A compressed spring, a stretched spring, like that. Can you give me any examples, any instruments which we are using stretched? Anyone? Let me
So
see.
bow and arrow.
Very good. Bow. Very good, Aswaran. Bow. When you structure the bow, not arrow. Arrow. Yeah, very good. So when we structure the bow, you all knows that it will be tying the rope like this, and they will structure the position like this, and then only they will release that. Have you all noticed it? Yes or no? So when they are stretching the position like that, so due to the change in its position, have you noticed this? Due to elasticity, it will possess what energy? Everybody? It will possess potential energy. Understanding? Now, and one more example. How many of you know caterpillar? Caterpillar, have you heard it? Not that bird. We are using that one to hit the stones for monkeys and all. We will use that instrument in our daily life also. Anybody? What is that name? It will be having like a shape. Why?
Sir, slingshot, sir.
Yes. In Tamil.
Slingshot.
Okay. So we'll put the stone here and we'll release. Yes or no, Harijaras? Do you remember that? You will not using?
Yes.
Yes,
What is the
sir.
name? Hari?
Slingshot, sir.
Oh.
Slingshot.
So that is also when we structure that rubber, you can see the change is changing. So due to change in shape, you can see what energy it will possess. Shape is changing. What energy it will possess? It will possess the potential energy. Okay, so you can write the structured spring or compressed spring and all examples. Next, second type of energy. Now, have a second one. The stone which is falling from the certain height, that is what due to the position, it is possessing again the energy. That is what potential energy we are saying. Have you all noticed it? It is causing due to the one reason because something is pulling downwards. What is that? Omar said already. What is that? Everybody wish to say
Gravity.
Gravitational force.
gravitational force. So that is why when we keep on going, you might be noticing when we jump from small height for 3 feet wall, 6 feet wall, first floor, second floor, third floor, where we will injure very badly. When we keep on going away from the ground, then the injury percentage will be more compared to the lower levels of the ground. Is it yes or no? Everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Because that is the reason behind for every second. What is the change in velocity, Harry, when we are falling down? We all knows the G value. Everybody can tell me what is the G value?
9.8, sir.
0.8 meter per second square means per 1 second. What is the change in velocity? That is what I want. This is acceleration. We all knows. What is the change in velocity per 1 second? 9.8 meter per second per 1 second. Is it right or wrong? The change in velocity will be body will be keep on accelerating. So that is why the velocity of the body keep on increases. Now, for example, let me take one boy is here and another boy is here. Now, a boy is dropped the stone and this boy also dropped the stone. Now tell me, as we know, initial velocity of this stone is what? Everybody, freely falling. Initial velocity is what? Everybody. Zero. This boy also, what is the initial velocity? Zero.
Zero, sir.
Yes or no? Now, tell me which boy's stone will be having maximum velocity before hitting the ground. This one, let me take this V1 and this is V2. Which one is maximum? V1 or V2?
So V2.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
V2. Why V2? Everyone?
More distances, so it will the
That's
velocity
more
will be
distance,
From
sir.
the ground. Understanding? So more away from the ground. That is why the final velocity of this stone 2 will be greater compared to the stone one. That is what. So it is causing due to acceleration. That is why the second type of gravitational force, sorry, potential energy we used to call it as gravitational potential energy. Write it. Gravitational potential energy. Write it, everyone. So definition. The energy possessed by a body, the energy possessed by a body are you writing the notes, everybody? By virtue of its position. Mr. Aswatham, are you writing? Position from
Yes,
the
sir.
ground. From the ground is called gravitational potential energy. Harini, anything doubt? Ask me till here. So types of potential energy. How many types of potential energy? Two types. One is, what is that? Elastic potential energy, and the second one is gravitational potential energy. So can anyone give me the example of gravitational potential energy? All of you? I want the answer from you. Gravitational potential energy. Suppose I am a car is kept, a car is falling, or a car is kept on the roof of a terrace. Now tell me, is it potential energy or sorry, what kind of potential energy? It is a elastic potential energy or it is a gravitational potential energy? Everyone, all of you.
Gravitational potential.
Gravitational potential energy. How many of you visited service centers, car service centers? Have you all visited car service centers, Mr. Omar, Harish, Eras? You might be noticed they will lift the car with the help of hydraulic and up they will put the car here. Yes, Metakshri?